Guest today is Matt Duck. What's up, Matt? You ready to talk about episode 2 of the Phillies podcast? You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's get into it.
So, what do you think the rotation of this team is in 2025?
I think it's to maybe sneak into the playoffs. And like I was saying off air, I think it's actually going to be a little bit more fun to watch them this year because there's no pressure on them. I don't think it's going to be quite as tense watching these games, expecting them to win constantly. I also think that they'll probably thrive a little bit better, knowing that there's not as much pressure on them with not only the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, but also, no one's going to expect them to beat the Dodgers. I don't know that most people expect them to be even the best team in the NL East. They probably have them as the third or fourth best team in the NL. So, you know what? I think that does favors for them because I don't know they're a team that really does well with crazy expectations and hype around them. I think the only one that can really be comfortable in that spot and that situation is, obviously Zach Wheeler, but Bryce. And other than that, I don't think JT does well under pressure. I don't think Trey Turner does well under pressure. I don't think Nick does well under pressure. You have a handful of guys that I think feel comfortable in that spotlight. Schwarber being one of them probably as well. But it's pretty much Zach and Bryce. So, I think it'll help guys relax, kind of, especially like Bryce. I know his shoulder's better. Maybe you get a surprise year out of Max Kepler. Maybe he pulls. Maybe he has a Braves-like season where they get a veteran. They pull these veterans in that they thought were past their prime, and they come in and succeed.
We need this year. The last 2 years that killed us, and I'll say it. Well, actually, not hitting is we need better trade deadline moves. Okay, if we're in it this year, the trade deadline. The last 2 trade deadlines killed us.
You don't think Lorenzen was a solid pickup?
Look, he threw a perfect game, and not perfect game, no hitter.
No hitter.
Yeah, no hitter. And after that, what happened to him?
Yeah, he had an 80 ERA, and he wasn't a starter in the playoffs.
What do you think about the Phillies not going with a closer again? They're saying closer by committee once again.
I say that's why they've only won 2 World Series and 100 and almost 40 seasons now. There's a reason they've only won 2. It's because they make boneheaded decisions like this. So.
I just say make Romano the closer. He has experience. When he did, what do you have last year? Forearm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he doesn't have forearm, he's a 2-time All-Star closer. That's an All-Star. Just put him out there. He's a good closer when he's not hurt.
Yeah, and not only that, I don't know that they have. I think Kerkering is the obvious heir apparent, but he does not seem ready to be put in those kind of high leverage situations. Hoffman's gone, although I don't see him as a high leverage guy.
Wait, you didn't like the guy we had last year?
No, it's
Estevez?
Yeah, I would have rather had. Well, honestly, he was the only reliever that didn't get shelled against the Mets. So, Matt Strom's not a closer. They don't have a closer outside of Romano. It's not a position. You can use all the analytics you want. Analytics don't mean crap when it comes to being able to shut the door in the ninth. So, hopefully it works out with him. But I think that's kind of the theme of the 2025 Phillies is hopefully this goes right. Hopefully that goes right. Hopefully Bryson Stott returns to form. Hopefully JT is not decrepit. Hopefully Bryce stays healthy. Hopefully, Aaron Nola is not a complete loser when it matters most.
Hopefully Hopefully this year we get the answer we always want to get: is Andrew Painter for real?
Yeah, I think he's for real. I just don't know that he's ready, and he's going to be on an innings limit. Hopefully Jesus Luzardo is, is all the way back. It's a lot of hopefullys out there. Hopefully Rob Thompson doesn't,
Are you surprised he's still back? He's back?
I'm surprised. Not really. I think the Phillies are complacent. They've always been a complacent organization. There's, again, another reason why they've only won twice. I think there's definitely some advantages to having Rob Thompson there. The players like him, which is great. I think he takes a lot of pressure off them. I don't know that he's a great strategic manager. But, the players are familiar with him. They're comfortable with him. But I think it's also that comfortability that has kind of hindered them in big games in the past. And, their inability to change, use the gaps, use both sides of the plate, shorten your swing, play fundamental baseball. Maybe it's that comfortability that has not, enabled them to do that. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't have much of an expectation for them this year in terms of the ultimate goal, but you know what? Hopefully. That's what we can look at.
Look, I think the Phillies this year are going to surprise some people. I know the Braves are coming back healthy, but they're saying Acuna probably won't be ready till middle May, right? May, Strider, probably the same thing, maybe a little later for him because Tommy John. But I think Phillies can still win the NL East. Will they? Let's look at the Mets. Mets don't have the starting pitching we do. Yeah, I know they got the hitting. But last year we were just swinging at crap. There's nothing you can do about it, I think. And I really think the reason is why they didn't bring a big star. And now that I look at it, and they did Kepler because they want to see if he can fill the void. And they're going to have money to spend this offseason because Schwarber and JT. And I don't know if they'll bring back both.
I'd rather bring back Schwarber at this point. I know JT has a good rapport with a lot of the starters. I'm not crazy about the way he calls games, especially in big games and tight situations. I think his defense is starting to decline. His bat I don't expect much out of his bat. I think he's really declined as a player. I like the guy. He's tough as nails. I think he's a decent leader and great clubhouse guy. It would appear not in the clubhouse, but as far as on the field, production just isn't what we're paying for at this point. And you see some glimpses of some really stud defense from Marshawn. So, you know what? It might be a good time to breed him and maybe make him the starting catcher after his contract expires and JT's contract expires and move on. They're gonna have to spend some money because I don't know who they're going to bring up, who's going to be ready and be able to produce. Obviously, you would think Crawford and Aiden Miller, but the Phillies, you never know. They can wait another couple of years until they're ready, or they're not the best at molding and producing major league talent from their farm system. So, who knows if they'll be star ready or big time production ready by next year. I'd like to see them come up at some point this year and contribute.
Would you rather?
It doesn't always have to be the Cal Stevensons of the world. Like, it could be your stud prospects that come up and make a difference. But I don't know.
Who would you rather have out there, Crawford or Rojas?
Crawford. Obviously the only reason why they're not doing that is because, they want to develop Crawford the right way. I don't know that they know how to do that anyway, so why not just bring him up? So I'd rather see him there. I'm sure he would be able to give you elite defense, and any sort of offense would be better than what Rojas is most likely going to contribute. Unless he becomes a slap singles hitter and a great bunter and, gets a ton of infield hits. I just don't see his productivity offensively being what it should be or being what we need it to be. Therefore, I'd rather see Crawford come up. Again, it seems like the Phillies are the only organization that just cannot bring up their prime prospects and have them produce early on. That's always been their MO.
Dodgers do it.
Yeah, the Dodgers do it. The Braves do it. The Astros do it. The Red Sox used to do it. The Yankees used to do it. Seattle's been doing it recently. It just seems like the Phillies have kind of always been that way. Even if they
don't play their top prospects every day, you could at least have Aiden Miller switching with Bohm and Stott.
And
Turner.
Yeah. Especially if your core guys aren't really blowing anybody away. Why not get them time? Why not get them up here? I get it. You don't want to get the clock ticking on their initial rookie contracts and stuff like that. That's also another thing the Phillies always look at. They've always kind of been historically cheap in doing that. They like to have players under control, so they like to bring them up when they're going to start the entire year. But I don't know if you want to do that and risk productivity and development, because if everything comes along and they're hitting the way that they should be or have the potential to, maybe it's not a big deal. But there's way too many question marks with this team and this lineup for you to not attempt to bring up your top elite prospects and see what they have. See if it can provide some juice. And you know what? If they can't, then you still have something wrong with development in the farm system, because mostly every other organization can do that, and they come in and they produce. It just doesn't seem like the Phillies are willing or can.
Look, there's nothing really. The problem is, I want the Phillies to bring out their prospects, but unless they get rid of like Stott or Bohm, those guys are pretty young. They're not young, but they're in their prime. So, and I see Bohm going before Stott because Stott's very good defensively.
Yeah. No, I probably agree with that. Also, I think Stott would have a more team-friendly contract after Bohm gets an extension or signs in free agency. So, I would definitely see him sticking around or having more longevity in the organization. And you can play him in multiple positions, too. I still contend he should be there at short. I think everybody knows he should be there at short. Trey Turner is not a shortstop. You're more of a shortstop than Trey Turner is.
Me?
Hey.
I would let that ball go right underneath my wickets. They hit it 100 miles off the bat. You would put me right back on the bench.
Well, then, hey, it's not much different than Trey's going to give you. He's going to give you 18 and 19 errors. So, it's long gone are the days of seeing a Freddie Galvis or a J-Roll there. So, but
Freddie Galvis was a better defensive shortstop than Turner.
Oh, a million times better. It's not even close.
The only difference is for him is his team. The teams he's always been on sucked.
Yeah.
When he was with San Diego, he was with
Seattle here, San Diego, yeah.
they all sucked, and then when he left, they went to the World Series. Not World Series, yeah, went to the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, when he left the Phillies, they went to the World Series. Not right after, but a couple years after.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Phillies are just kind of crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. Which,
Our first 3 series at DC, home against the Rockies, at home against the Dodgers, and then I think the Braves. We go to Atlanta, I think.
Yeah, I mean, don't read too much into April either way, especially with this team. They're historically slow starters anyway. So I don't know that, I don't get as amped for April games as many other people. It's just good that baseball's back.
Are you still on the Eagles hangover?
Oh, absolutely. I'm still living it up.
What do you think let pause real quick. What do you think about Barkley's extension?
Oh, it's beautiful. They extend him and they save $6 million on the cap. It's incredible. Yeah, there's a little bit backloaded, but it's still a lot of it's front loaded, the contract. So I think he will have a bigger hit in his last year or so, but there's ways around that. I'm sure with Howie, he understands the cap and how to manipulate that, and how to free stuff up. But right now we have a window of we've had the best roster in football for the past 3 seasons, so trying to continue that for a 4th and 5th. So gotta do what you gotta do for now. Could worry about that in a couple of years where the cap's going to be, and who knows if the cap doesn't go up to about $300 million at that point. So they're set up. They're a much better run organization than the Phillies. We'll put it that way.
Is baseball still your favorite sport, or is it football now? Or is football creeping?
No, I mean I love both. I mean baseball's I've always loved both. It's just one thing I will say is, my goodness, I don't care if he's in football or not. I would if I'm Big John, I go to Howie Roseman at the end of his contract and write him a blank check and go, hey, can you do that? Can you do what you do in football with baseball?
Do what?
Take a couple of. Can you do what you're doing with the Eagles with baseball?
What?
My goodness.
Barkley?
No, no. Howie Roseman.
Howie Roseman.
Like, my God, is there any way you could evaluate baseball players like this? Because, jeez, Phillies need something like that.
They got the Browski on the top.
Yeah, well, he loves spending money, but he doesn't. He leaves you in ruins. I just asked the Red Sox. So
we got Max Kepler going to save the day.
Oh boy, yeah, the broken down left-handed batter that we didn't need.
Dude, they're going to get someone big this offseason coming up. You watch. They're going to have money to spend. Yeah, how about Vlad Guerrero Jr.?
Ooh. And who knows if they won't get outbid again.
Would you take Vlad Guerrero Jr. on this team?
Yeah.
Over JT?
Is that a serious question?
You know what I would do? I would try to, after this year, if he has a good year, maybe consider it. But maybe if Marshawn has a good year, maybe consider let JT walk, right?
Yeah,
unless you bring him.
Ask him if he wants to switch positions.
Where's he going to play?
Well, he could play one of the corners, I'm sure, at that point.
In the infield?
No, in the outfield.
You're still gonna have Castellanos, who plays every day.
You could probably. I mean, they were trying to trade him this offseason. That's another season off of salary off the books. I'm pretty sure you can move him at that point if you needed to. Which I think at some point you're probably going to have to. But the one thing is that,
Do you think the Phillies re-sign Nick Castellanos?
If they do, they're dumber than I thought. But that wouldn't surprise me.
What if they re-sign him for another 5 years, $100 million? What would you say?
Well, like I said, they're adverse to winning championships, so why not?
Wouldn't you be scared of Nick Castellanos coming up with the bases loaded in Game 7 of the World Series with 2 outs?
Yeah. I think the ninth inning of a big spring training game is going to be more likely than being in Game 7 of the World Series. But that being said, apparently Bryce was willing to move the outfield that the Phillies had signed Pete Alonso. So, you know what? If Vladdy Daddy comes here, which, who knows if he actually will, but if he were to come here, at least we know that that's an option. Bryce wouldn't mind moving back to one of the corners, so. That would alleviate that logjam.
So.
But, who knows how this bullpen is going to shake out. And, man, that starting rotation has a lot of question marks. Way too many.
Who, the bullpen?
The bullpen has some question marks, but the starting rotation has a lot of question marks.
Our starting rotation is going to be dirty this year. You watch.
We'll see.
Walker's our long reliever. We're safe. They're saying he's looked real good. Thompson will put him in. He'll make a 6-man rotation. You watch.
Maybe he'll throw home run derby to Bohm this year.
Who, Walker?
Yeah.
Batter up, Bohm!
Yeah, just throw that cutter in the zone.
Well, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. But
this team will either win 82 games or 95 games. So
a couple things before I go. One thing is that they better put Marchand as the backup catcher. I'm sick of this Stubbs experiment.
No, I think it's a wrap on Stubbs this year.
Marchand, I looked at his average. He was batting like .333 in spring.
I mean, I don't care if he hits .215. That's going to be better than Stubbs. And just defensively, he's going to be better than Stubbs. Not that Stubbs is a horrible defender, but he's not.
If you want to rest JT, like they're saying, playing him 110 to 120 games, and you need a good backup catcher.
Yeah, and Stubbs is not that guy to start 50 games. So.
And if something happens to JT, then you call up Stubbs, I guess, and then as a backup, and then so what? You got to waive Stubbs after that. Like you can always find a third catcher.
Yeah, he could be the DJ, and if JT goes down, but other than that, Marchand could be the new DJ.
We can teach him how to DJ, right?
Yeah, I don't care. He could put on overalls. Yeah, whatever.
That apparently hasn't worked the last 3 years.
No. So, apparently overalls does not allow you to play small ball and, hit the ball the opposite field and use the gaps and spray the ball. So, well, guess we'll find out.
Oh, one more thing I want to bring up. What do you think about your boy? The surprise rotation this year, and you might laugh, is going to be your boy, Aaron Nola.
I think we know what to expect from him.
He might win like 16-17 this year.
Based on what?
Oh, trust me, based on, and you're going to text me when I'm done and say, You were always right about Aaron Nola. And I'll say, you know what? My uncle told me. Uncle Power, Aaron Nola's having an MVP Cy Young this year. Cy Young Award winner running this year for Aaron Nola.
Yeah. I guess we'll wait till he hoists that trophy because I don't ever see that happen. He was a one-year wonder for that, and he fell apart in September as we expected that year in 2018. So, yeah, I don't know. I would expect 13, 14 wins, mid to high 3 ERA, and
they're gonna think you're gonna think his breaking ball's like a wiffle ball slider. That's how fast it's gonna be coming in.
Yeah, curveball.
Yeah, his curveball's gonna be dirty. He's gonna have some new movement on it.
Oh yeah.
I was working with him. That's how I know.
Oh, well, hopefully you got his fastball up to around 95, 96 consistently.
Oh, you're gonna buy yourself an Aaron Nola jersey after this year's done.
Yeah, maybe a T-shirt.
I'll take you to the store and we'll go pick it out ourselves together, me and you.
Yeah, maybe be a T-shirt on clearance.
And then you'll get the jersey.
Yeah.
I got a St. Patty's Phillies shirt on right now.
There you go. But listen, I like Aaron Nola as a person. He seems like a good guy, but I would have rather gotten an Aaron Nola Braves jersey than an Aaron Nola Phillies jersey.
I think I'm going to put out our division real quick. I did it last week. I think our division is going to be Phillies 1, Braves 2, Mets 3, Washington, Marlins. What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I really don't know. This year more than any, I have no idea if the Phillies are going to win 83, 84 games or 93, 94 games. Yeah.
They could win. You're right. They could win 80 to 83. They could win under 80. They could win 95. They could win 100. This could be the best team the Phillies have had in a long time. You don't know. You really don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks. So.
Phillies on paper have a very good team, but the problem is, can they put that together?
We'll see.
All right, buddy. Thanks for joining me on the Bubcast.
All right.
I'm Billy. I'm Bub. Billy Showtime Corsetti, and I'm out.
All right.